Hey everyone, I just saw Dunkirk. The short review is this was an incredibly crafted tale of the Dunkirk rescue with excellent music, an engaging plot, and incredible atmosphere. As for the long, mostly spoiler free review, uh, this movie is Christopher Nolan's take on the Dunkirk rescue. Germany had routed Britain and France in the early stages of their conflict of World War II, and you were left with 400,000 people on the beach that needed to be rescued. And the civilians answered the call. This movie tells it as a non-linear story from three distinct parts. The first being the soldier on the ground who is desperately trying to get out of a really hopeless situation and find his way back. The second is the Royal Air Force pilot who is trying to make it so that these people aren't being bombed into oblivion as they're trying to escape on first aid boats. And then the third one is a civilian sailor who is trying to get to Dunkirk to do his duty and rescue as many people as possible. This is an incredible movie. Christopher Nolan pulled out all the stops and just went for, I want to hope for accuracy, but atmosphere especially, where you can tell the absolute hopelessness of the soldiers on the beach, the sense of hope that the people going to rescue them are going through, and the sense of duty that the Air Force is pushing. All of them work really well together, and since it's a non-linear narrative, sometimes they interact, sometimes they don't, and as the movie goes on, it adds more and more pieces to the story, and it really is a fascinating final product that he comes up with. Aided along with it is Hans Zimmer, who has got a pulse-pounding soundtrack. You really feel the suspense because of him, just like, kush, kush, kush. Many people have said that this is basically the star of the movie, and honestly, it's at least a best supporting actor of the movie. And speaking of the actors, there's not a lot of people that I really recognized. You've got Kenneth Branagh, who's always awesome. You've got Cillian Murphy, who's usually kind of hit or miss for me as a shell-shocked soldier. You've got the guy that won Best Supporting Actor for Bridge of Spies, Mark Rylance, who I'm still not too familiar with. And then you've got Harry Styles from One Direction, who does a surprisingly good job in this movie. Other than that, there's a lot of people I didn't recognize, and that works to the film's advantage because I don't really know who's going to live or die through this thing. Oh, also you've got Tom Hardy as the Air Force pilot, who's probably the best known person. You may have known him in a previous Christopher Nolan movie as Bane, and in this movie he also has a mask across his face pretty much the entire time. Maybe that's just Christopher Nolan's new fetish, I don't know. But it works in this movie. He is perfect as a duty-fulfilling Royal Air Force pilot. And as for Christopher Nolan's attention to detail, he really pulls out all the stops. You've got boats from the Dunkirk invasion that were used back then that are brought out of retirement into filmdom for their big break. And also, you don't really see that much of the Germans except for them dive bombing or shooting at things. It's very much from the British and French perspective, and that's kind of refreshing for a war movie. You don't have a snarling enemy chasing after everyone. You've just got the people face first in the whole conflict and really getting a feel of what it would be like to go through all that. As much as you can, this is a very intense movie in many different places. I do find it kind of weird that with Gary Oldman's Winston Churchill movie coming out, that this is the Armageddon / Deep Impact showdown. The thing where two studios make two separate movies about the same subject in the same year, despite it never having happened before this. Dunkirk is the new Paul Blart Mall Cop versus Observe and Report. So let's review. This is an incredibly crafted movie with an amazing score, beautiful cinematography, and a true attention to detail with some amazing acting performances. And it's a movie you have to see in theaters. In order to get the full Christopher Nolan experience, with the bombs going off, with the sense of claustrophobia, with the sense of agoraphobia, and just the danger, go to a theater, watch Dunkirk, watch it on the beaches, watch it on the landing grounds, watch it in the fields and streets. Just watch it. This is Alec, signing off.